Today, let us observe about one of the important subjects which one has to pursue in LLB 3 years course. First year, first semester, first subject, that is contract 1. Generally speaking, in our day-to-day life, we used to enter into various kinds of transactions. In some of the contexts, we used to enter into various kinds of transactions knowingly that we are entering into contract. Some other times, we also used to enter into contracts unknowingly as well with other persons or parties. So here, in this class, my object is to explain you what is contract, what are the essential elements of a valid contract, how important whether these transactions relating to various kinds of contracts are important in our day-to-day life, especially in modern life. Why? Because if it was in the earlier period, number of transactions were very less, number of persons also are very less, where very number of transactions, when number of parties are very less, obviously number of disputes also used to be very less. But in due course of time, due to development in science and technology or due to growth in population, whatever the growth in business activities, commercial activities, etc., in our day-to-day life, in modern form of life, we were compelled. We used to enter into various kinds of contracts. For example, if we go to a movie, we used to, suppose if we go to the movie with a vehicle, two-wheeler or four-wheeler, and when we park our four-wheeler or two-wheeler in the management parking place, there also we have entered into a contract. Such kind of contract is being called as contract of payment. In the another context, for example, one person is having some gold, but he badly in need of money, liquid cash he requires. Then what he can do? He can give his gold to the pani and he can obtain some liquid cash from him. And whenever he has fulfilled his needs, he can return the money and he can take back his gold. This kind of transaction also is being called as a contract. This kind of contract is being called as contract of pledge. In the same manner, two or more persons, two or three persons or two or more persons, they together intended to do some sort of business, for which they have come together, they have discussed about which business, whether they intended to start, how much capital should be there, who has to do which kind of activities in the business activity. All these things are being settled down between those parties. And they have started or initiated the business activity. That kind of contract is being called as contract of partnership. Okay, in the same manner, suppose if a person is having some gold, if he requires money, he can sell it and he can acquire money by sale of that gold. That is being covered in Sale of Goods Act 1930. And doing partnership business activity is being covered under Partnership Act 1932. Like that, in our day-to-day life, especially in modern way of life, we used to enter into various kinds of transactions. We used to enter into various kinds of contracts. Only the thing which we have to remember in this context, the important thing which we have to remember in this context is, we can enter into any kind of contract with any person or with any persons for any purpose in any context. But in each and every contract which used to be entered into by the parties, there are certain essential characteristics or essential features or essential elements which are to be fulfilled between the parties. Unless otherwise, these essential elements have not been fulfilled by the parties in the respective context while entering into the respective contract, such kind of contract we don't choose to be considered as if it is valid and enforceable contract. So, in order to consider a contract as valid and enforceable contract, there are some essential elements, there are some essential features, there are some essential characteristics which have to be fulfilled, which have to be complied by the respective parties in all the circumstances. For example, if there are totally 10 essential characteristics, out of 10 essential characteristics, if 9 have been fulfilled and only one is left over, that one leftover matter or essential element itself may lead to consider the entire transaction as invalid, because even though all the essential elements have been fulfilled, one essential element had not been fulfilled. Not fulfilling even one essential element also makes the entire transaction as invalid and unenforceable. So in today's class, let us observe about the various essential elements which the parties have to fulfill or comply for entering into a valid contract. First and foremost essential element in any transaction, in any contract which used to be entered into by the respective parties can be considered as if it is. First one is offer. Offer. What is meant by offer? Offer also can be considered, or offer also can be called as a proposal. Offer is nothing but, suppose if I have given an offer to sell my property to you, if I asked you to sell my house to you for 50 lakhs of rupees, then itself is nothing but a kind of offer. Okay, so when I asked you to sell my house for 50 lakhs of rupees, like that if I made a proposal to you, if I made a proposal with you, then I may be considered as if I have made an offer. The offer can also be called as proposal. What is meant by offer? What is meant by offer and it's where it is being defined is provided under section 2 clause A of the Indian Contract Act. This is the first essential element. Second essential element is acceptance. Acceptance means when I made an offer, whenever one person has made an offer, whenever one party has made an offer, if the terms and conditions that have been made in the offer by one party have been interested to be accepted, willing to be accepted, willing to be agreed by the other party, then under the like circumstances, the other party will signify. Signifying in this context means communicate, or he will convey that yes, whatever the offer that you have given to me, that offer, the terms and conditions of your offer are very much acceptable to me. I am very much willing to accept your offer. That means what example, whether I have said, I want you to sell my house for 50 lakhs of rupees to you. This is my offer. If my offer is willing to be accepted by you, what you can do? You can accept. Okay, sir, I am very much interested to buy your house for 50 lakhs of rupees. Like that, if you say, then it may amount to acceptance from the other party. Okay. In between both these offer and acceptance, what must be there? There must be consideration. What is meant by consideration? Consideration is nothing but something in return between the parties. What is something in return between the parties? For example, what I said as an example to you, I said as an example for the term offer, I want you to sell my house for 50 lakhs of rupees. This is my offer. And you accepted to buy my house for 50 lakhs of rupees. So here I have given an offer, you have accepted my offer. This for how much amount, whether I am willing to sell my house to you for 50 lakhs of rupees. This 50 lakhs of rupees is consideration for me, and my house will become consideration for you or consideration to you. So this is something in return between the parties. Unless otherwise, this something in return between the parties is not there in existence, then that kind of contract cannot be considered as valid contract. And at the same time, merely accepting the terms itself is not sufficient. When the other party is accepting the terms, the each and every term and condition must have been accepted by the other party without giving any kind of counter aspect. That is most important. Okay. Next one is promise. When I have made an offer, when I have given an offer to you, when you have accepted my offer, between both of us, a promise used to be formed. What is meant by promise? Where does whether the term promise is being defined under section 2 clause C of the Indian Contract Act 1872, the term promise is being defined. How it is being defined in the sense? Promise is nothing but an accepted proposal. An accepted proposal. So here, if we observe the definition for the term promise under section 2 clause C of the Indian Contract Act, promise is nothing but an accepted proposal. Here also we can find out two words. One is proposal and the other one is accepted. So whenever one person made a proposal, when the proposal is being made, when the offer is being accepted by the other party, it may lead you to form promise. Promise is nothing but accepted proposal. In these aspects, there must be consideration also. Consideration is provided or is being defined under section 2 clause D of the Indian Contract Act. How the consideration is being explained under section 2 clause D of the Indian Contract Act in the sense, when at the desire of the promisor, who is promisor? The person whoever has made promise is being called as promisor. At the desire of the promisor, at the like or at the intention, at the wish of the desire, at the wish of the promisor, if the promisee or any other person. For example, myself is A, you are B. I have given an offer to you. Hello sir, I am willing to sell my house for 50 lakhs of rupees to you. Like that I have made an offer, I have given an offer to you. You are very much interested to buy my house because you knew very well about my house. You knew very well where my house is situated because you have come many times to my house. And my house is being liked very much by you. You thought yourselves, if Sir sold house, if Sir intended to dispose the house, I will be buying the house. Like that you are thinking since so many days. In the meanwhile, what happened? I only asked you, sir, I want you to sell my house for 50 lakhs of rupees to you. Like that, I asked you. Then immediately what you have said, you said, yes sir, I am willing to buy your house for 50 lakhs of rupees. Like that you have given response. So in between both of us, consideration is there. What is consideration for me? I am getting 50 lakhs from you for selling my house. You are getting my house in favor of you for buying my house. So both of us are getting something in return by both of us. That is what is being called as consideration. Sometimes the parties can enter into contract without any kind of consideration also. Suppose as per section 25 of Indian Contract Act 1872, as per section 25 of Indian Contract Act 1872, A contract without consideration is considered as if it is void. A contract without consideration is considered as void. That means what? If there is a contract, if there is no consideration, if there is no something in return between the parties, then that kind of contract cannot be considered as valid at any cost. That is the reason why such kind of contract is being called as void contracts. But at the same time, some exceptions also are there to this consideration. Sometimes in some other kind of contracts also used to be there, which are being called as contracts of gift. In contracts of gift, there shall not be the existence of consideration. If there is no consideration between the parties, such kind of contracts are being called as contracts of gift. So, the main difference between general contract and contract of gift is, in a general contract, a contract without consideration is void, and in contract of gift, a contract with the consideration is not valid if it is contract of gift. Why? Because one of the essential elements of a valid contract of gift is there shall not be consideration between the parties. Okay?